in Australia and around the globe, in places such as the Australian National Memorial at Villers-Bretonneux in France, with its 10,772 names. There are 6,195 on the Menin Gate in Ypres, Belgium, 4,222 at Lone Pine in Gallipoli, 2,225 at the Labuan Memorial in Malaysia, 1,299 at VC Corner Cemetery at Fromelles, 741 at the Sydney War Cemetery at Rookwood Memorial Park, and just a single name on the Brookwood Memorial in Surrey, England. A small band of investigators, including historians, archaeologists, anthropologists, scientists, and passionate amateurs, are dedicated to finding and identifying the remains of Australia's unrecovered war casualties. This book tells the story of these Australians and their colleagues around the world who research, search, dig, recover, and identify remains or artefacts that might bring a family's anguish to an end and finally give them solace. Prologue. The moment two rocket-propelled grenades slammed into the steep creek bank close to the five-man SAS patrol, the commander, Corporal Joe Vandroffler, knew it was time to withdraw. Suffering shrapnel wounds to his face, he turned around and saw about 30 enemy in a semicircle formation sweeping towards the creek. Making a beeline for the nearby thick jungle, Vandroffler ordered his men to cease firing and stand silently, back to back, in the thick vegetation. He noticed a nearby gap in the trees where artillery fire had recently exploded, and he decided that it would make an ideal extraction point. After 30 nerve-wracking minutes, listening silently to the voices and whistles of the approaching enemy force that was hell-bent on finding and killing them, they heard the distinctive thump, thump, thump of an RAAF Huey helicopter as it approached the hot landing zone. Salvation was at hand. Buffeted by the downdraft of the chopper, hovering 20 metres above the trees, the men attached themselves to the end of the rescue ropes. With a thumbs up from Vandroffler, they were hoisted out of the deadly maelstrom. Trooper John Cousins saw his good mate Dave Fisher beside him as the five men cleared the trees, whooping like excited schoolboys. Then Cousins noticed it. Dave's rope was flapping in the wind. He was gone. Vietnam to Korea. 1. The search begins. When Australia's 11-year involvement in the Vietnam War officially concluded in January 1973, 6 of the nation's 521 war dead remained unaccounted for. Known variously as killed, body not recovered, missing in action, presumed dead, MIA, or simply unaccounted for, the 6 were, in order of disappearance: Lance Corporal Richard Tiny Parker, 24, of St Leonards, New South Wales; Private Peter Gilson, 20, Holsworthy, New South Wales; Private David Fisher, 23, Balgala Heights, New South Wales; Pilot Officer Robert Carver, 24, Toowoomba, Queensland; Flying Officer Michael Herbert, 24, Glenelg, South Australia; and Lance Corporal John Gillespie, 24, Carnegie, Victoria. It would take almost 40 years for the Australian Defence Force, the ADF, and the federal government to focus on finding and repatriating the remains of the 6 unrecovered casualties of the Vietnam War. Like many young Australian soldiers who landed on a Qantas charter jet at Saigon's steamy Tan Son Nhut Air Base to begin their 12-month Vietnam War tour, Lieutenant Clive Williams was confronted with the grim sight of coffins being loaded